Alright, villagers, we got the cobblestones filled in between the cracks. So that's what it looks like. So you can see it's nice and filled in between there. And that's going to give it a really good effect after the tops and everything are painted. Now, some of this stuff like this here on these edges, don't worry about that. You can always go back over it after this dries. Because it's mixed with water, you can go back over it and paint over those edges with a light flat white paint. And then like in these areas over here for me, my buildings are actually going to sit right up next to these and cover it, so it doesn't really matter. Same thing if you drip on the styrofoam, don't worry about it. Just, you know, get a piece of paper towel or something and dab it up so that it just kind of looks like that. And then when you're done, let this dry and everything, then you can just cover up these areas like this along the edges with white paint. It's not a big deal. Another cool thing that you can do is, so you don't have just this flat surface, you can take a pencil with an eraser on it. And what you can do is you can just kind of like push down on some of these stones on the edges of them, and it'll kind of poke them down in there, and it'll make it so like the stone has recessed down into the ground. It gives it a really cool effect. Once you get it painted, these will be kind of set down in there. It also helps to kind of cover up that kind of dimply look on the surface of them from the styrofoam. But you can just go around random stones and just kind of poke them down. And the other ones you can just kind of just tap on the edges of them just to kind of get some of that squareness off of the edge, or that sharp cut edge. And then it'll make it look really cool. You know, you don't have to do this, but for me, I think the devil's in the details, and it makes things look really good. So now when you can look at these stones, you can see like this one here is recessed down, and then you can just take and just kind of soften up the edges of them a little bit. Then when you paint them, it'll make them look really cool. It'll make them look realistic. So it just takes time. You can just kind of go through and do that to all of them. And then when you get to certain ones, like you just kind of push down harder on it, kind of sink it down into the styrofoam a little bit. And then the ones around it, you just kind of soften up the edges, and it looks really cool. All right, so that's where we're at right now. I'll post it once this dries and gets ready for its next step for the next sections of paint. I will post another video and show you what it looks like to get started painting on this and what colors that you can choose. I'm going to use like some grays, some mixed colors of gray, and maybe leave some of the brown in there. I don't know yet. It's just kind of one of those things where you just kind of know it when you see it. So, all right, enjoy.